Greeting lecturer, hello everyone, welcome to our group presentation. Today, me, Tida, Bonmei, as well as Panyasit, we are going to introduce you to some information about Laos country. Here are our contents that we are going to cover in today's presentation. So without any further delay, let's go to the very first point together. Geography. Laos is the landlocked country in Southeast Asia that is surrounded by Thailand, Vietnam, Cambodia, Myanmar, and China, with a total area of 236,800 square kilometers. The Laos capital is Vientiane, also known as Vientiane as a local name, and it is located in the middle of the country near Thai borders. This country is divided into 3 distinct regions, which are diverse mountains, plains along the Mekong regions. Most importantly, the Mekong River is a transportation route for passengers, a source of electricity, a water supply for crops, and a home to fish for Laotian people. On the other hand, Laos is a tropical country and the weather is also influenced by the monsoon. So there are 2 seasons, which are rainy season from the May until October, and the dry season is from November until April. Talking about foreign policy, the foreign relation of Laos, the country has maintained a special relationship with Vietnam. Moreover, this country also improved its relations with other nations as well, such as Pakistan, Saudi Arabia, China, Turkey, Australia, as well as Sweden.
So I'm gonna move it to my point, which is political structure and government related. So political structure and government. The politics of Lao People Democratic Republics take place in the framework of one party, Socialist Republic. The only legal political party is Lao People Revolutionary Party, which is a short form of LP or P. The de jure head of the state is President Buon Hang or Ratchet, and the head of the government is Prime Minister Tuan Nguyen Sisulit, who is also a Lao Revolutionary Party General Secretary, making him also the leader of Lao country. Government policy are determined by party through all-powerful 9 members of Politburo and 49 members, which is Central Committee. Important government decisions are vetted and checked by Council of Ministers. Another point that I'm going to talk about is economic system, trades, and GDP of Lao country. So, Lao is a mixed economy country, which is governments have implemented gradual economics and business reform to liberalize its domestic markets. Laos is a member of Asia Pacific Trade Agreement, which is APTA, and also a member of ASEAN, which is known as Association of Southeast Asian Nations. Since Laos country is heavily based agriculture and they heavily rely on rice farming, so the rice farming dominates the economy. About 85% of estimated amount of people are being employed, producing about 51% of the GDP. Domestic savings are low, forcing Lao people to heavily rely on loan and foreign assistance as a source for economic development. Agriculture products include sweet potato, vegetable, corn, coffee, cotton, tea, peanuts, and other type of farm animals such as buffalo, pigs, cattle. Agriculture in Laos, like describes, which is revenue of the GDP. The gross domestic products in Laos was worst at its highest, which is 2019, about 18.17 billion US dollar. According to this official data graph, which is sourced from World Bank and projections, trading economics, the GDP wall of Laos represents about 0.02 to the world economy. And another point related to Laos economy trading is the factor is tourism, which is also a very critical point for Laos economy. Laos was opened to the world by government in 1990 and it remained a popular tourist destination to this day. Tourism is the fastest growing sector in the economy and it is critical to Laos economy. As you can see this graph, we can see that Laos tourism revenue reached about 935 million USD in December 2019 compared to last year or previous year, which is 811 USD in previous year. Laos tourism revenue data is uploaded yearly and annually. So the Ministry of Information, Culture and Tourism provide annual tourism in USD for this graph. And that's about it for my point.
Hello teacher and hello everyone. The following point is about the culture, history, religion, education and human rights. The first point that I'm going to present is about the history, and I divide the history of Laos into three different stages, which is the first one is ancient Laos and the French in Laos, and last but not least is the modern Laos. In the ancient Laos, in the early stage of Laos were hunting and gathering society. Later they were farmer growing rice. However, the people of Laos mostly were influenced by India rather than Chinese culture. In the first century, India introduced Buddhism into Laos. And then in the late 1880 and early 1890, French influence in the area grew, and in 1893, Laos became a part of French Empire in Southeast Asia. However, the French took little interest in Laos and few French people lived there. 1947, Laos declared the independence from France. However, the independence did not last long. In 1946, Laos was controlled by France again. Meanwhile, the French were losing control of Southeast Asia in 1953. So they withdraw Laos from their control to let Laos declare the independence again. In 1988, the government of Laos introduced a market reform. As a result, the economy of Laos began to grow rapidly. And today, Laos is still a poor country, but it is a developing country, and the economy has grown a lot lately. And also, in 1998, Laos has joined the ASEAN. And the next point is about culture and religion. The main religion of Laos is Buddhism, which is around 65%, and Satsanapi is around 30%, while Christian is less than 5%. This number was published by the Laos government in 2010. And now move to the culture. Culture in Laos has at least 49 ethnic groups, and each of them present their own dialect, custom, culture, and tradition. However, because over half population are ethnic Lao, this is obviously the most dominant group in Laos and the one that most people encounter as the Lao culture. And the next culture that I'm going to talk about is living style. Living style in Laos, people typically socialize as a family, and most living in extended family with 3 or sometimes more generations share one house or compound. The family cook and eat together, and sometimes when someone pay a visit unexpectedly, At a meal, we allow people automatically invite them to join with them without any hesitation. And the next one is wedding and marriage. In Lao culture, before a Lao wedding take place, a traditional process called Slu Call, and in Khmer we call it Main Dao, is going to arrange the marriage between the two families. If her parent agree to let their daughter to marry to a boy, a kladong, which means in Khmer Baraka, will be negotiated as well. In the negotiation, they will talk about who pay everything at the wedding day. Actually, before, like the old culture, mostly the grown family usually pay everything. But now, since the society is more developed, they often share the expense together, like 50-50. And now move to the next point is about education. I also divide education into three stages, which is education before Lao People Democratic Republic, and education since 1975, and the education between post and 1990. And the first one is education before the Lao People Democratic Republic. In the mid 20th century, education was primarily based in the Boris Temple School, and we call it Slawat, where the monk taught novice and other boys to read the script. What school has built in many villages for their children to learn to study from monk. However, only boys and men in urban had access to advanced society at that time. And the second is about education since 1975. The second one is education since 1975. An important goal of Lao government was to establish a system of universal primary education by 1985. The government took over the existing Royal Lao government education system that has been established in 1950 by France and reconstructed. At that time, the French educational system was replaced with the Lao curriculum, but not least is education post 1990. At that time, Lao government identified the need to equip citizens with the necessary skill and knowledge to develop their country. So the structure of education was created by the government, and you can see in the picture that show that there are 4 different levels in school, and I can say that it is the same as we have today in Cambodia. And now move to the next point, which is about human rights. For human rights, they have the same as Cambodia, such as women rights, which men and women has equal rights. And the second is civil liberty, which is the freedom of religion and the freedom of speech and press. And last but not least is the worker right. In Laos, this freedom is to set the time of working like 48 hours a week with 1 day a week off from work, and overtime cannot be executed more than 30 hours a month. And the last point of this presentation is about member in regional and international organization. For member in regional, Laos has established the relation with more than 100 countries around the world by allowing them to open the embassy in their country. And the closest relation in Laos, as my research, there are 4 of these: Cambodia, Vietnam, Thailand, and China. Last but not least is international organization. In Laos, many organizations has connect with them. Like so many, I have as my research. There are so many of international organization has a good relationship with Laos. But these three are the most well known in Laos also, and there are World Organization and the International Bank for Reconstruction and Development, known as World Bank, and last but not least is United Nations. I think that's all for my presentation, and thank you for your listening and watching.